Alright, ladies and gentle frogs, we are here for match number 2 with our blue-black Devoid deck. This one's very close. I think I'm going to keep. I'm on the draw. 2 lands on the draw is something I keep about half the time. This hand has an early play, and 2 more good things to do if I draw another land, so I think it's a keep. It's close. If we don't draw a third land for a while, it could be very awkward, but um, that's magic. Okay, opponent leading on Slaughter Ground, which means I'm going to match. Still looking for that third land. Damper Envoy. Land? Come on, one time. Yeah, buddy. Okay. We have choices now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Benthic Infiltrator online. The sooner we can get 2 cards exiled for Ulamog's Nullifier, the better life's going to be. Silent Summoner there is fine. Blinding Drone can shut that down. Opponent hitting us for 1 per turn with his Envoy is not that big a deal. I'm going to anticipate pre-combat here to see if I can hit an island. Yeah, that means I can attack, and the Blinding Drone can shut his ground creatures down off the crackback. Having to mill our Grasp of Darkness is definitely not ideal, but and it's also probably not the end of the world. That's an interesting attack. I guess it's free-ish. Got a pump spell here? Okay, Altar's Reap. That's fine. So basically just draw 2. What we're concerned about here, being that our opponent is playing forests, is big creatures. You know, big gnarly beaters that can get us. But because we have a couple of removal spells in our hand, I think we're going to keep developing our board for now and not try to sit on Ulamog's Nullifier too long. Plus, if we sit on Ulamog's Nullifier next turn, hypothetically we can flash in and threaten a double blocked vampire if he, you know, gets ambitious and wants to swing in just to trigger the life gain. With no place is fine. He's representing some sort of trick. We've got a counterspell for it, so we can continue to chip away for 1 damage and develop our board with the Gravity Negator. It finds the Recluse. That's a really, really good thing to know about for next game. One with no plays, so 6 mana open and no plays with 4 cards in hand. A little odd, but that's as may be. So I'm tempted to get a little aggressive here. Actually, so my initial thought was to complete disregard the Vampire Envoy and then attack for 5. I don't actually need to kill the Envoy right now to attack for 5. Sure, he can block one of them, but I'm still getting in for 3. And, you know, if he attacks back with the Vampire Envoy and gets his life gain, then I can lock it in a membrane potentially. I'm going to develop my Dampening Pulse to start with, though. Just makes it so that crackback just really isn't threatening at all. Would really like, ooh, that's where the Drawn's Chosen ended up. So I can provide a unlimited army of zombies for our opponent. Might be a good target for complete disregard. He can pump him. That's a better block. Grab. Okay. Well, I think we just keep bashing here. I'm very tempted to kill the Drawn's Chosen. Exile the Path Warden, so that's sweet. And an Eldrazi Devastator. So those are the giant guys I'm talking about. So definitely that's the way our opponent's going to win this game, if he's going to win this game, is with giant monsters that we can't deal with. So we have to make sure that when we're considering using the cards in our hand that that's what we're concerned about. I am very tempted to complete disregard the Drawn's Chosen here. Otherwise he makes a zombie every turn, life gets difficult. I'm gonna let him potentially make one zombie and hold up Ulamog's Nullifier this turn. If he has another giant monster in hand, oh, third color. So if he has something huge here that I can counter. Like a 4-color Woodland Wanderer, for example, that is not going to ever tap for me to Containment Membrane down. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and counter that bad boy and increase our clock. Give our opponent back a couple basic lands. We've milled some tasty stuff here. Dial back Lagak, join the rest of the stuff in exile. Okay. Our Isle Avenger. So we are basically doing it here. It's a little awkward that I don't have a 6th land, because then I could disregard and then surge out the Avenger. I guess I just let him block and make a zombie. That's probably fine. The zombies he's making aren't even that threatening because of the dampening pulse. So I've got him on a 3-turn clock. Don't see any reason whatsoever to, well, I guess he gains one every turn. Is it still a 3-turn clock? It's still a 3-turn clock. Vampiric Rites. So he's got that sacrifice theme going. If I Containment Membrane the Envoy, I'm going to disregard the Envoy. That turns off the Drawn's Chosen. He can't actually... Okay, he got his Woodland Wanderer back. Unfortunate. 2, 4, 6. Can hit him for 7 per turn. Well, I can hit him for 7 and then 10. So I've got him on a 2-turn clock with my air creatures. So here's a game state where you can just see the power of dampening pulse. Like this would be a very sticky situation for me if I didn't have that card in play right now. As it is, I'm just under no pressure at all. Like, he has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power on the table besides the Woodland Wanderer, so I'm just not really that concerned. So I want to make sure I put my opponent on a 2-turn clock here. I also don't want to die. So what do I need to do? 2, 4, 6, 7, and then 10. Seems fine. If I leave this guy back to block, it's 6 and then 10. So I think I'll just leave the Infiltrator back to block, absorb some damage. And I still have my opponent on a 2-turn clock. He's got 1 draw step to find something. So, and he doesn't. So that's game. All right. So black-green, we have a token theme. We have a couple of big creatures. So Pathfinder might be a consideration here. He's big and he can rumble with some of the big green creatures that we're concerned about. So I think I'm going to bring him in over maybe a blinding drone. Don't one of the things that didn't go particularly well in the draft is that we didn't get all the colorless sources that we needed. Blinding drone number 2, if you remember, was the holdout settlement pick. That would have been a really, really good pickup. I mean, at the time, seemed right, but that was definitely a moment in the draft where we should have prioritized our colorless mana. But anyway, I think this is fine. I think we've got a pretty good matchup here as long as he doesn't get out in front of us with something huge, which could happen, but this is a pretty easy mulligan, unfortunately, with only 1 land. This hand is much better. 3 lands, I'm definitely going to keep Containment Membrane. The Dampening Pulse can handle all those little guys. The Containment Membrane can handle anything big that comes out. With this draw, we should be positioned pretty well here unless we get aggressively run over, which with the Stalking Drone might happen. So we'll see if he starts the beats. Captain's Clause. So 2-lander, Captain's Clause, bricks. So opponent has 2 lands. So his hand, if he doesn't draw land, he's going to untap, he's going to tap the forest to equip the Captain's Clause, and then I'm going to blow him out with complete disregard. And he doesn't equip Captain's Clause, and that's fine too. Colorless mana doesn't save him because it only makes it 3 power. Nothing he can play for 1 colorless that actually prevents that. And he bricked on land again, so I think we're in really, really good position, especially if we draw a land. We didn't. And that's awkward because that's a double blue spell. So, still a game. If the opponent hits his 3rd land drop here and we don't get it going, looks like he bricked again, so we're still in good shape. And we drew our land. Alright, good. This game should be pretty well buttoned up at this point. Opponent kept a very aggressive 2-land hand with Stalking Drone and Captain's Clause, and unfortunately is bricking out. So we should be in real good shape here to put this one away. I'm going to develop out the Tuarial Avenger and then just leave a Void Shatter and just put him on a clock. If this is a creature, I just ignore it. Ooh, Spider. Can't ignore that, unfortunately. let's see, if I dampening pulse, he still kills either of my creatures. He becomes a 1/3, goes to a 3/3. Does become a safe-ish attack. He trades for the Jor Adventure, but then I still get to hit him for 2 a turn. It's a little awkward. Spider was a very good draw for opponent there. I'm just gonna attack. Just want to trade his spider away right away. I'm gonna develop this. This could definitely still be a game. Yeah, 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 yeah. Deep Fathom Skulker. Really wish I had some colorless mana right now. I'm just gonna pass with Counter Magic open here. I'm really still only concerned with big creatures. You know, eventually I'll draw into some colorless mana to get this guy online and pretty much seal it up. Palace Watcher is fine. A bunch of 0/1s. Not too concerning. Benthic Infiltrator is a great draw there. We start chipping away at the opponent. We exile Zulaport Chain Mage. That's a good one to exile. Myers Malice with Awaken. I think Crab and Pathfinder are our weakest cards here. Not really that concerned about our opponent's attacking creatures because of the Dampening Pulse. Congested Forest. Player Blinding Drone. Got the Woodland Wanderer, so that's a good hit. The Counter Magic open. We're still in really good shape here. You can start drawing quite a few cards with the Vampiric Rites. This is interesting. So I'm gonna close this so you guys can actually see the whole battlefield here. I'm gonna make safe blocks. See if my opponent has tricks they want to play. If they do, I can counter them. I don't really want to trade my land or my Jor Avenger for this land. Oh, he gets a free attack. Okay, so that's a good play by my opponent. That's Altar's Reap. He didn't even use the Vampiric Rites. He's just drawing lots of cards here. So every turn he gets to. That's unfortunate. So I should have blocked. Blinding Drone and Thought Harvester on that guy. Am I concerned about a 0/2 flyer? Not really concerned about a 0/2 flyer. I think I'm gonna let that resolve. It's awkward because, you know, getting some use out of this voice shatter is important. Otherwise, it's nothing. But we're just not under a lot of pressure here. Although my opponent is able to draw a lot of cards, what they have going on. Got a forest. So we want to get the colorless mana online. It's going to mill our opponent. Reckless Bushwhacker. Interesting. So that was what the red splash is for. Reckless Bushwhacker. Very strange. Although I guess if he's going wide enough, it becomes an interesting card. Opponent offering a little smiley face there for the Reckless Bushwhacker. His secret technology for the red. Play another Altar's Reap? Okay, so the double Altar's Reap Vampiric Rites Go Wide Black-Green Tokens deck. This is the deck that we all thought was going to be a thing in Battle for Zendikar and never really got there, but this opponent has made it work. So the spell we're really concerned about now is why's my brain blank? Surging Swarm Surge. Swarm Surge. So that can give all of his creatures +2/+0. All the colorless guys get first strike. That could be a way for our opponent to get a lot of damage in on us. Again, I could threaten to kill his land here, but I would have to trade it for, my Cultivator Drone or my Drawer Isle Avenger, which I don't really want to do. I'm just gonna let my opponent draw a card and gain a life here. Honestly, I think we're on the mill plan at this point. Opponent has 12 cards left in his library, which just between the Benthic Infiltrator and his draw step puts him on a 6-turn clock. And with my colorless spells resolving, that'll be more triggers. So I'm really not under any pressure here. If I leave Counter Magic open, don't think my opponent has a lot of outs. So he's scry at bottom. He's sacking guys. Scry bottom. We ingest a swamp. Let's see. I could hypothetically Containment Membrane his land, but I'm sort of okay with him just attacking with it every turn. If he wants to draw more cards, that's fine. I don't think I've ever won a game with milling in this format, but it could happen. Scion Summoner again doesn't do anything. Just makes more critters that don't hurt me. If we see the Swarm Surge, so he's just going really wide here. Looks like he's trying to set up for a big Swarm Surge. Which if we leave our counterspell open for the rest of the game, we're just not in any danger of losing to that. I mean, I guess he can start hitting us with his go wide creatures, but again, I mean, the Dampening Pulse is just not a lot going on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a couple of those get eaten by my creatures. So, yeah, we're just gonna continue on like this. Let's scry to the top. Probably left the land there so I can ingest it. Yeah, left a forest there, that's fine. Gaining life. Sacrificing creatures to draw cards. That's fine. This game is great. Magic's great. I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, I'm countering it. It's huge. I mean, maybe Rolling Thunder? Opponent has 7 cards left in his library. So we have 7, so we can develop our other Gravity Negator and still leave our Void Shatter open. Ingested Vines of the Recluse. And ingest another card here with Thought Harvester. What did opponent cast? Pulse of Marasa targeting Eldrazi Devastator. Okay, that's fine. You get a giant monster, which can hit me once and then get Containment Membraned. Or not even hit me once, I'll just Blind Anger on it. Devastator is fine. Devastator doesn't win my opponent the game here. We are going to tap the Devastator and let him hypothetically attack with his Swamp and get a token. He chooses not to. I'm going to lock down the big guy. Continue to mill our opponent, who is down to 4 cards left in his library, soon to be 3. So we've milled 11 cards. And yeah, 2 cards left. Will be 1 after the White Shatter. Another Eldrazi Devastator. I mean, if I counter it, I mill him 1, and then I attack for the other 1, so I kill him this turn. That's game. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't see the mill happen very often in this format, but that was an awesome game. That was a really cool example of the strategy working, and we're on to the finals. So thank you for joining me, and we'll get ready for game 3.